to the journey. We are interviewing a few more people coming up, so stay tuned. I hope you tune in every week. And today we have with us Franz Martin. Welcome, Franz.
Hi.
We're glad to have you here. And you know, I'm going to ask you a question later, and so we'll put it on the burner. But it's, why did you want to do this interview? So hold that thought. We're going to just get started instead with growing up days. What do you remember about church or God when you were a kid? What was it like? What were your thoughts like?
Okay. I went to parochial school, and I did that for 8 years. And in those 8 years, it became very, very evident to me that I should have some type of connection to God and to the church. And as time progressed, with my confession, my communion, my confirmation, etc., you know, I became very close with the priest of the parish. I only lived 13 doors away from the church.
Oh, wow. That made it easy, didn't it?
Yeah. And because, you know, we were of middle income, or maybe a little bit less than middle income, I started working up at the church as a janitor. After, like, I think I was in the 3rd grade when I started sweeping out all the classrooms and stuff like that.
Did they pay you?
Yes.
Wow, 3rd grade, no kidding.
I think I got 50 cents a day.
Oh my.
But then as time progressed, I started serving papers, which kind of like got me away from going to church with my classmates. We used to have a 9 o'clock mass. And serving papers, I used to do this Sunday morning route. So that would put me in my church about 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Well, I'd never been an altar boy, except the priest knew me.
Mm.
So they would say to me, "Fran, come up here, I need some help today." And I would go up in my dungarees or whatever I was wearing, and I'd be helping the priest do the mass. And, you know, I guess the biggest thing was helping him at the concentration, communion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that worked out quite well for me.
So how long did you do that? How many years did you do that?
I did that up until I went into high school.
Wow.
And, well, actually, I was still doing it in my sophomore year in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's hard to get the guys to come out. Now it's just guys at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning to do mass.
Oh, yeah.
But here I am. So.
Well, good for you. Now, it's true you live close to the church, you work there, then you were an altar boy. So you mentioned a connection to God that you needed or felt like you needed to have one.
Yes.
How did doing all of those things affect your feeling of connection with God? Did that make a difference to you?
It did, because I felt I was serving something or doing something for somebody other than myself. And, you know, and that's what I think God was looking for. That made me connect.
Okay.
It wasn't until I got older in life that I understood the meaning of all the commandments and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and here I am today.
So yeah, we've got a lot of traveling to do between then and today. So when you were saying that you were serving, it sounds like that's what you understood God wanted you to do.
Right.
He wanted you to be helpful and serve. Yeah. So then, as you got older, did that change at all? I mean, after high school, then where did you go?
No, it was funny, as a teenager, the group that I hung around with, we would go out like a Saturday night, and we'd go to dances. At that time they were called CYOs, Catholic Youth Organizations, and the majority of the group that I had, we went to about maybe 5 or 6 different churches with their CYOs. We had cards for them. But what was interesting about that, especially on Saturday nights, usually the CYOs ended at 11 a.m. St. Leo's down in Baltimore. We would go to the 12 o'clock mass as a group.
Wow.
So we stayed together like that.
For how many years?
Well, let's see. Probably close to maybe, well, I got married, maybe close to 7 years maybe.
Wow. So that was a real close-knit community for you,
Oh,
wasn't
yes
it?
it was, yes it was.
And so then, after marriage, did you continue going to the same church, or where did that take you?
No, we left there, my wife and I, she was in St. Bernard's. I was at St. Bernard's, and she was down at Sacred Heart down in Dundalk area.
Mm-hmm.
And we started going to the Dundalk church, and we were doing it quite regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And then things didn't work out the way I thought they would work out, and I kind of like walked away from the church for quite a few years.
So, you know, your early marriage days sounds like you felt still that connection to God, but then
Yes,
that
and
changed.
that was still there because I really believed in two things. I believed in Easter and I believed in Christmas. And having those two as a background, that's what I participated in. I participated in my Easter duty and Christmas.
So let me push on that a little bit. When you say you believed in Easter and you believed in Christmas, let's unwrap that. That means you believed in the resurrection, death and crucifixion and resurrection?
Yes.
And obviously before that, in
And
the
the
birth of
birth.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I just wanted to check on that because a lot of times people talk about Easter and Christmas without saying the real meaning behind it. So obviously that's what you're saying.
Right. And, you know, during this period of time that I was absent, my wife made sure that she was going to church. She made sure my boys were going to church. And we moved out here, and out here they both received, my one son I believe received his communion here, but both boys were confirmed here at St. Joe's.
Okay. So that started your life here at St. Joe's. Now,
Right.
I understand that your wife came first and then you did, or is it the other way around?
My wife was here. She took care of everything.
Okay. We hear that kind of story a lot around here, and so, you know, that's not uncommon.
Right.
So here's the question, what brought you back? I mean, this is
Okay.
a big change for you then to come
Yes,
back.
it was. And I don't want to use, quote, health as a problem, and that wasn't the problem. All of a sudden, about 6 years ago, maybe 7, maybe 6, I can't remember, I felt that there was something missing. And now, this is where the Knights of Columbus comes into it. My next door neighbor was a knight, behind me I should say. And we got to talking, and he started talking to me about the things that the Knights of Columbus do. But one of the things he said in our conversations is that if you're a knight, you got to be a practicing Catholic. Well, all of a sudden I realized I'm not that practicing Catholic. But I felt I had something maybe I could still give. So I started coming back to church on a semi-regular basis, not a regular basis, but because of a place that we have out of the area, I would be here maybe half the time. But the more I realized there was something missing. What was missing? And I hate to go off on a tangent here, but I have a place in Gary County. I have a deer stand. I'll go out in that deer stand, and I sit there and I think. And I don't think I'm meditating, and I don't think I'm praying. I'm thinking. And I realized my duty, not my duty, my feeling towards the church is changing. And I couldn't really figure out why, but then I did. It was because of the members that I started to meet here at church, my neighbor behind me, talking to me about the Knights. And that's when I decided to make an honest effort. So I talked to Father Neville, which was kind of interesting to begin with. And he brought me back in, and then I met Father John. And for whatever reason, Father John and I, we kind of hit it off right away.
That's because he was a paper boy too.
Oh.
You guys have this other
yeah.
club. What was it that the priests said or about those conversations that drew you back further? Drew you in, really?
Well, it was more of the men that I was talking to. They're the ones that really brought me wanting to do something and knowing that there was something missing.
Yeah, you said that before.
Yeah.
How would you describe this something missing? That's what we want to hear.
It was like what am I doing? What is the rest of my life going to be like? These type of questions.
So I'm hearing purpose. What is my purpose? What is what's the meaning of me still being here,
Yes,
maybe?
yes, yes.
That kind of thing?
Yeah, and that has to do with some of the health issues that I've been faced with, but it's under control, I hope.
Well, yeah, I hope so too.
Well, that has to do with Father Armando, and has to do with Father John. They're always praying for me for something.
So it's a combination, it sounds like, your purpose, your meaning. And I'm hearing with health issues, which is true for a lot of us, it brings you to your awareness of your need.
Right.
I didn't say that very well, but your need for...
Well, my need was to bring God, Jesus, and the church back into my life. Mm-hmm. And that's what it boiled down to.
Well said.
I needed that. And, you know, I just try, you know. So, but that's crazy.
Well, it sounds like you went for so long without that.
I did.
That, you know, you might be looking back at a dry spell, and when that dry spell, you know, got dry enough, you know, like for all of us, we get to where we really, like Jesus said, I thirst, right? You know, we need more.
I need him.
We can't do this by ourselves.
No.
Yeah.
And Father Neville, he walked me through it, and where he left off, Father John has picked it up a little bit, a lot actually, and then Father Armando the same way. I mean, you know, this parish couldn't ask for two better mentors of our religion. Mm-hmm. And I think I can speak from somewhat experience with my relationships as I was growing up with the priests and the nuns of my church. So, you know, there's a lot of things that I see. And, you know, there's a lot of things I still see that I'm not particularly in line with, but I kind of think it's overlooked a little bit.
Well, we can't all understand and agree and know everything in this life. You know, that's what heaven's for, is to finish it. I don't know if that's appropriate theologically, to finish what we don't get and don't understand down here, but to me, you've found a place that really ministers to you, that completes a lot of your search for meaning, for purpose.
And you know, it's the little things that both Father John and Father Armando say. And I really get a lot of that in their sermons to the congregation. And I feel that I feel that even though it's to the congregation, at times I feel that their sermons are directed at me for different little things. And I wish I tried, believe it or not, Kathy, I tried to remember some of those things, and I'm having a hard time bringing them back. But it's, you know, it's little things. It's nothing big. So.
Yeah, you know, it's worth writing down when we remember to do that, right? I'm with you. But those little things, I believe, and I wonder if you do, is where we can sense that the Holy Spirit has taken the words that we hear and made them right for you, and right for me, and right for the person sitting next to you. I mean, do you feel that connection, that the Holy Spirit has a supernatural way of translating right to you?
I just feel it's directly to me. I hate to say it that way, but I do. You know, maybe it's wrong thinking that it's just for me. I don't know that. But,
and I'm not discounting that either.
But I'm just thinking, you know, I hear it, I'll try to live it, and it's for me. Now, how other people take it, that's up to them.
But it's obviously a gift you're being given, right?
I
that kind of little thing that makes such a difference in your life is a gift.
Yeah, I guess you know, I never thought
That's
of
my
it.
way of saying it anyway. You might say it a little bit differently, right?
Maybe, yeah, I guess, but, you know, I want to be, I hate to use the term, but I just want to keep it simple. Just call it KISS.
Yeah.
Simple.
I remember that, and a lot of people may not know that, but I grew up with that too. I for sure know that. So, if we were to address the question I was hinting at, why did you want to make this video today? Why did you come and want to talk about your journey?
Well, number one, I was asked a couple times.
That helps, doesn't it?
And number two, I didn't know how to express it. I'm not a missionary by any long shot of the imagination, but I just thought there's little things that I might say that might help somebody else. Somebody else that might have been in my same position years ago, that want to come back but don't know how to come back.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, that's why I want to do it. That's why I did this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that what you have to say and what you've said and shared are very helpful and are straight from the heart and very meaningful to people listening. And
I hope so.
is there anything else you want to say to someone that might be listening or struggling with their faith?
There's a lot of people out there that are. You know, being a membership director for the Knights, I've been talking to a lot of Catholic men, and they say things I don't have time for. And I understand that. I understand it tenfold, probably. But the thing is, I look at it this way now. Back then I didn't, but now. If I can give an hour and a half a week to my faith, that's what I should be doing. Don't make an excuse because your son has to play baseball or your daughter has to play soccer or whatever. Don't make that an excuse. That's not an excuse. That's a cop-out. And, you know, I'm just hoping that some of the men hear this. And I'm here more, I guess, for men than I am for the ladies.
Well, sure.
But, you know, the ladies, I think, have the same problem. I mean, you know, when I was growing up, 99% of the women, older women in my life, they were all at-home moms. Now you don't have that. So their schedule is just as bad and just as hectic as the rest of the family.
A lot has changed to make church really take a back seat, doesn't it?
Well, I think the COVID has a lot to do with the lack of parishioners here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can remember coming to 10:45 Mass, and you had to fight for a seat. Now you don't have to do that. And I don't understand why. It's not, there's, you know, I just don't understand.
So what are you looking forward to in the next little while? You're the membership chair for the Knights. Are you looking to do anything else? Or is that enough for you?
Well, I'm now a 4th degree Knight. I'm a new color corps. And as a 4th degree Knight, I'm also the faithful pilot for the 4th degree at Charles Gibbons.
I don't know all of what that means. You wanna...
But who's ever listening,
they know.
Right.
Okay.
But, and once again, it was a couple of the younger members that led me into that direction. And again, that's something else that we're doing, like our color corps. We do a bereavement. In other words, if a member of the Knights or her family passed away, the family will ask the Knights to stand, watch at the feelings, and they'll ask us to attend the funerals, and we do that.
Well, that's a wonderful send-off and a wonderful blessing that you give to each of them.
Yeah, and this is something I never thought of, and I thought this is something else I should be doing.
Yeah. Well, you've got a strong connection to God and how He wants you to serve, and we appreciate your serving. We really do. And appreciate your time today and the story that you've given, the encouragement you have given to men and to women and to everyone.
I try not to be partial.
Yeah. We want to serve. We want to love each other. Well, thank you.
I appreciate being here.
Thanks for coming.
Okay.
Join us next time for another journey.